5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. Now, here's Tom Silverstein.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to 5 Questions with LeRoy Butler. And we are here. Man, I don't know what to say about the end of that game. But you know what I was thinking about? Someone was saying, Packers always have it going for them. And remember, I can't remember what the year was, but the Bears blocked a field goal.
Oh, when Walter Payton passed.
Yes.
Yes,
And I can't remember Robinson, I think his
Yeah.
name was, and he said that Walter Payton lifted him up to block that field goal.
Yes.
I don't know who lifted Carl Brooks up, but
Lucas Van Ness.
Yeah, Lucas Van Ness and T.J. Slayton, and it might have been illegal. I'm not sure.
Hey, don't start that. Don't do that.
It could have been.
Don't be giving these Bears fans more stuff. Because they're still talking about Watson didn't catch the ball.
Well, that one I think he did. I actually watched it a bunch of times, and I think he did catch the ball.
I was excited, though.
But,
I really was.
Yeah, there's
But give Versace, the special team coach, some credit. Because he had talked about it.
He figured it out. Regardless, so 2 ways to look at it. Packers got improved to 7-3. They're back still in the division race. On the other hand, they didn't play very well against a not great team, but it wasn't exactly an inspiring win. So let's talk about the ramifications of that coming into a game this week against the San Francisco 49ers. What do you think?
Can you separate? I don't want to talk Niners yet. It'll give me heartburn.
Okay, well,
please.
What do you think?
Anxiety attack.
What do you think was the sticking point to why they just didn't look great against the Bears?
Oh, no, that's a good question. Because you're thinking which team had the bye week.
Yeah.
You're thinking one team, really, since the Commanders have been all over the place, anxiety. I mean, you lose to the Commanders, you go to Arizona and get blown out.
Yep.
You come back home against a bad team like New England and get beat. And Caleb at the time was sacked 38 times. Mm-hmm. I remember Jay Cutler got sacked like 50-something times. And I was like, did they make an investment in the offensive line? Okay, great. Now, moreover, the coordinator gets fired. Mm-hmm. So you're thinking, in the Packers of a bye week, you would think the teams can separate and create some daylight. Mm-hmm. But it seemed like to me the new coordinator bump was in effect.
Yes.
Because Caleb managed the game very well. He didn't have any turnovers. He was getting the ball out quick.
Got the ball out quick. I think that was the number one thing. He was not sitting around waiting to make decisions.
And it really looked like they studied the Packers to say, you know what, we can run the football on these guys. Run the football. They had a two-headed monster with Swift and 23 and 4. We're going to run the ball. But the problem was he threw it 31 times. Had that been in the teens and run the ball, it would have been difficult for the Packers to probably come back because they were running the ball and they had the long 30-something yard run. But sooner or later, I said, Jordan Love, who leads the league in interception, they got to get better in the red zone. Because the red zone is, worst case, you get 3. Best case, you get a touchdown. But the worst, very worst, you get a turnover.
Yeah. And you give it up on downs, too, which they did as well, 4th and 6.
I'm okay with giving up on downs because it's inside maybe the 10, 15. I'm not okay with it, but it doesn't create the anxiety that turning the ball over mean you got nothing.
Yeah. I don't know what to say about that interception because it was the right read.
Well, he explained
His mechanics looked fine.
He explained it.
He just sailed it.
That's why I love Jordan Love. No pun intended. And I think you guys were trying to give him an excuse. Was it your groin?
Well, I wanted to know, was there some... Explain it to me. How does it just fly out of your hand like that?
He explained it. And he said just a bad throw.
Yeah. I didn't know if there was a guy at his feet or...
Nope.
Nope. Nothing.
Just a bad throw.
Yeah.
And he has a live arm. Even a long pass to Christian Watson with between two guys. He caught it.
Yeah.
Just like with the Rams. So I think it's baked in the cake to where he's going to make. That means he is what he is at this point. He's going to make some risky throws, and you got to be okay with it.
But I think
you got to take the good with the bad.
I think he played better. I really do. I think
he only had 17 attempts.
A lot better decisions, other than, the deep ball could have been a bad decision, the one that Watson wound up catching.
Yes.
I don't think the interception wasn't a bad decision. His 4th and 6, we're going to go over that one.
Yeah.
We disagree on whether that was a bad decision or not. But regardless, I didn't think he was inefficient. And for some reason, the offense just is not, playing at a high level. Bears have good defense. Could say that.
Yeah, Bears number 1 in the red zone. So I was okay with LaFleur going for it. And the reason why, here's why. If you're going to ever catch Detroit, you got to take some chances. Because that's why Detroit don't have no breaks. So the Packers and the league have breaks going downhill. Detroit doesn't. They got their foot on the gas. Yeah. You never know if they'll go for it, fake it. They keep everybody guessing, which is great. They'll lose games like that, but they're winning games, just what they did to Jacksonville.
Right.
So, yes, I was expecting the Packers to go there and beat the Bears like Detroit did Jacksonville. I really was expecting that. After a bye week, that's what I was expecting.
Because I didn't, just because I thought the Bears would get a lift from the offensive coordinator.
Okay.
You knew they were going to play safe ball. They weren't going to let them get sacked, and they weren't going to let them throw interceptions. And I thought they did a really nice job of just giving him options, giving him things to do. And then he used his legs, and ran, which is, we need to talk about the Packers' pass rush. 2 things. Well, let's go right to the defense. I mean, it was a disappointing performance from the defense. I went back and forth, so was the pass rush better than we thought just because he was getting the ball out of his hand, or are they just not getting there?
2 things can be true with this one. Yeah. You would like in a perfect world to get pressure with 4, but you're not. Statistically, you're not. So you have to manufacture pressure. Mm-hmm. And sometimes that wasn't working. Now, they did get their tackles back, I think.
Yes.
But they lost a guard in the first quarter, I think.
No, for the game.
For the game.
He was inactive, yeah.
Oh, he was, okay. So they got their tackles, and you're still not getting what you want. Because if you can rush with 4, you can do anything. But the playbook shrinks if you can't get any pressure on these guys.
Right.
And now sometimes Fritz, the defensive coordinator, he'll come to the sideline and say, you know what? He's running. We're going to spy him. Mm-hmm. So the other coaches say, well, if we spy him, we take a guy out of the hook.
Right.
Fine, but we want to keep him in the pocket because our secondary gets a lot of turnovers. That's the discussion you have at some point.
Or you could ask your front to maintain their rush lanes.
Yes. It's just like telling your kid to come in at 7. He's still going to come in at 8.
Right.
Some of your kids come in at 6:30.
They did it against, Jalen Hurts, and they did it against Anthony Richardson.
That was the game plan, though.
Yeah, true.
So this is the game plan that has to change on the run.
Yeah.
But I know what the coaches are thinking, and I say it all the time. Stop the plane and manage the train. And what I mean by that is him running, getting the first down, yes, it's demoralizing, but it's not an 80-yard bomb. Mm-hmm. The plane is the arm. No quarterback is going to beat you just running. At some point, he's going to have to throw the ball.
Yeah.
It's just that sometimes, you're putting the ball in a guy's hand that I didn't think he could outrun 56 to the sideline.
I didn't either. And he did.
And he did.
Yeah.
But Caleb is a good athlete.
He is a good athlete.
So now, next time you build that in, but I was asked a question. I'm going to have to throw it to you because I don't know the answer to it. Well, I do, but my opinion. Somebody in the family asked me, who's a Bears fan, by the way, what's the difference between the Packers defense and the one last year? It seemed like y'all doing the same thing. If it's 3rd and 8, they get 9.
Mm-hmm.
If it's 3rd and 16, they get 14, and then 3. You're just not aggressive. So do you see any difference?
I do see a difference.
Okay.
I think they swarm the ball better than the other defense did. I don't think they bust coverages. I don't see them, just like looking around like where were
shrugs,
you?
like
I mean, other teams, when they complete a ball, they're playing a lot of zone and they complete balls in zones. I think what happened Sunday, 2 things. One, I think they're counting on the offense to put more points on the board and force Caleb Williams to throw. He didn't have to throw.
That's
right?
true.
And he could
That's
write.
true.
The other thing is when Jair Alexander went out, I think all their blitzes went out the window. I think they were terrified of having Carrington Valentine and Keyshawn Nixon as their corners. Against those 3 wide receivers, those are 3 good wide receivers.
Yeah.
I mean, who's covering DJ Moore if Jair Alexander's out of the game? So I think he backed off.
Yeah.
What do you think?
I'm going to say, we do the thing, what would Jesus do?
Mm-hmm.
And it makes you feel good. I'm going to do what Detroit would do. They would get up and challenge them. Go challenge them. We're not going to play scared no more.
Yeah.
Get up there and challenge these guys. They get paid too. They're going to make plays.
Yeah.
But get up there and challenge them. And call your defense. Call your sheet. If your sheet is limited based on whether or not people plays, then I don't know if you can ever have a system because you're always going to be missing somebody. So maybe they'll do that moving forward with San Francisco, but let them go up. I wish I could have a conversation with 25. Nobody in the league can run past you.
Yeah.
Get up there and challenge him. He's faster than any receiver playing now. Now 24 is a learning curve. 21 is a learning curve as well. But 25, when you got that kind of speed, you should be covering these guys like a blanket.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion on it. So them your 3 guys, get up there and challenge them.
What I saw early in the game, and I just happened to be focusing for some reason on Jair Alexander, this play, and a lot changes, and it pertains exactly to what you're saying. So it was, I forgot what down it was or whatever. Jair Alexander gets up on DJ Moore, and he just slams him, both hands. He's not, he's sending a message,
Yes.
Go, come on, I'm going to be physical with
Bring
you,
it on.
and I'm taking you out of the game.
Yes.
From that point on, he could have taken DJ Moore. I don't know if he could take him out of the game.
I know what
but
you mean.
He can help neutralize him. And then, once he's out of the game, that just kills them because they don't have anybody else.
There's no okay, give me that call sheet. Get rid of that one.
Right.
No, you got to run your stuff.
I mean, you saw it. Jalen Johnson is that guy for the Bears. It's hard to complete passes.
Yes.
And I don't
Well, when 23 goes out, 25 is my cover guy. He should be following the number 1 receiver, if it was me.
Okay.
Because I want that defined. You're the guy.
Do you still have confidence in Bullard to play in the slot?
Yes.
You wouldn't put like Corey Ballantyne in the game? No.
20 is where we're supposed to be.
Okay.
But you got to have 33 healthy. Evan Williams gives you the flexibility to put 20 up there because he's going to get attacked in that slot a lot.
Okay.
But in the slot, you can give guys help. You can blitz him. There's a lot of things you can do. But the slot guy is supposed to be a versatile guy, not really a shutdown corner type. It needs to be a guy who can defend the run and who can blitz and who can cover all 3. But, I mean, you could probably play Evan Williams up there and put 20 back.
Yeah, I don't think Evan Williams can cover as well as.
That's why I would need 33 back.
Yeah, I think that's the right. I just wonder if.
So you're saying put 24 in the slot put 21 and 25.
No, put 25 in the slot, 24 and 21, or
Okay.
Valentine and Stokes, or Valentine and Ballantyne.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm just
No,
wondering.
I would love to try some of that,
When
which should have been in the bye week.
This was why I really thought they needed to trade for a corner at the trading deadline, because I just did not think Jair Alexander was going to be healthy this year. And you have to count on him missing a handful of games. And what do you do when he's not there?
I think they would have got Lattimore, but he's got his hamstring.
Yeah.
But he'd have been good for you in December. But
wouldn't have helped him.
If he was healthy, we would have went and got it.
Yeah.
I don't know that for sure, but I would have went and got it.
Yeah, so that's a question.
Yes.
I also, a lot of people are not complaining about Quay Walker, and I go back and forth on him. I sometimes wonder if he's in the wrong position. Like, is he really a middle linebacker, or is he more like of a weak side guy who should just be chasing and dropping? I don't know. What do you think? I mean,
I've always said I'm a big fan of number 7. He's a will to me.
Explain
I think
what that is.
58 should be in the middle, and he should be more on the outside.
Or 40.
Yeah.
What about
56.
45?
Yeah, 56, 45, and 7 should be outside. 58, who's the thumper of the group, he should be inside all the time. He should be inside.
Can he take on those big guys? Not a huge guy.
Well, I'd rather have 58 does it. He's a little bit more violent than the other guy. I think he's a little too high. 58 is the Brian Noble types.
Yeah.
And then the Johnny Holland would come across. In our league, it was Brian Williams.
Brian Williams, yeah, and George Koontz was in the middle.
Because numbers, Quay Walker, when he's going to the quarterback, see, I would play him if it was me. He would be playing like Michael Parsons. He'd be down there going after the quarterback a lot. And then every now and then he would drop. But I would say, sir, go get the football. Remember Junior Seau? You never knew where he would line up.
Yeah. I have a question as to whether it's better to do that with Edgerrin Cooper. Because Edgerrin Cooper is a legit pass rusher.
Yes.
That's what he did in college.
Yes.
I don't know if Quay Walker is skilled enough as a pass rusher. I think Edgerrin Cooper could be the X factor. But, I don't know. I don't know if Quay Walker is just built for taking on blocks in the middle. He's so long and lengthy, and he's kind of like a stockier guy who can take on blocks, right? Yeah,
and I think he's a will, and I would go down, like, the only reason why, to me, this is my opinion, that I'm in the Hall of Fame is because of Gilbert Brown, Santana Dotson. They committed to not letting the linemen get on me, and I appreciate that. That's why I introduced them at the ring ceremony. If it wasn't for Reggie White, Sean Jones, Gilbert, and Santana, there's no LeRoy Butler. It would hurt our defense.
Yeah.
So they would tie up those linemen. I was running all over the place.
Right.
And that's a conversation and that's the unselfishness that you need if you're going to rush 4. We give them a jet call, go get the quarterback, jet. And we use another word for 2-gapping. I need to stay clean on this one. And they would tie up blocks, even get a holding penalty, but it's not a 75-yard play. And then now we can play certain people. But in the 4-3, Tom, real quick, it's an under defense to where you put the strong side linebacker on the line of scrimmage.
Right. Over would mean he lines up with the 3 guys.
Yes, wherever the strong place, he's on the line of scrimmage, and you got the 2 back.
So you have like a 5-man front.
Yeah, exactly.
With an under defense.
Yes.
And you like that better?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially in the winter, because all gaps are covered. As soon as you run the ball, you know who fault it was.
Yeah. Yeah, well, you have to play base defense, and you guys played a lot more base defense in that era, and now you have to play nickel because everybody plays 3 wide receivers.
And I would even disagree with some of that. We still played base. Now, I was the guy that would cover the 3rd receiver.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah. So the safety, if you can cover that 3rd receiver, Eugene Robinson deep. We can do whatever we want. You can't run on us. And if you did, excuse me, threw the ball on it wasn't a big play. Yeah, you can convert.
Right.
So Hafley got to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, you had two physical corners, too.
Because you know Shanahan knows what Hafley's running.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
Yeah.
They're heading into the 49er game.
Yes.
Both sides know each other inside and
Yes.
out. Matt LaFleur knows Kyle Shanahan. Like
I got a
the back
wild
of
card
his-
when you get finished.
Okay, and Hafley, he was in San Francisco. He knows Shanahan. He
Yes.
started out as an offensive coach, I believe.
Yes.
So I don't know if one has the advantage over the other. You go.
I would have Robert Solemn in the tightest Packer shirt I can find, or turtleneck or mock, and have him on the sideline. Because he's been over there.
Mm-hmm.
He knows everything about Shanahan. He knows everything about Shanahan.
But what do you have him doing?
Anything he wants.
You want him to help on defense?
Yes. Yes.
Ooh,
I
don't know.
come on in this lab, because I remember I used to say, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. I just want the meat to taste good.
Mm-hmm.
And right now, the meat's a little tough. Tell me what Shanahan was doing over there, because we can't beat these guys. You know why? If it wasn't for San Francisco, we've been 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
So
I
I
agree.
need Solomon in there on that sideline.
But the last time, defense wasn't the issue. They didn't score enough. Well, they missed field goals. That killed
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
I thought they played halfway decent defense. Their
Yeah.
safeties were better. They
Yes.
would have won that game.
Yes.
If McKinney was there instead of Savage, they would have won the game.
Yes.
I don't know. 49ers defense in those early games just dominated the Packers. They were so good. I don't think they're as good anymore, but I do think they're going to cause problems.
Do they have number 54?
Yes. Yes, he's a
Do they have
problem.
Christian McCaffrey?
Yes. Yes.
Kittle?
Maybe. Kittle was
Purdy?
didn't play last week. Brock Purdy, yeah, he's banged up a little bit.
Debo?
They're not the same team. Debo's
I
around.
ain't-
They
I
don't
ain't-
have
I-
Brandon Ayuk.
I'm not.
You know?
I'm not buying it. It's the brand. It's the
Okay,
brand.
so what's the recipe to beat them?
Robert Saleh. Tell me something different. So I'm dead serious. I'm trying to cure anxiety. There's only 2 teams that cause anxiety for LeRoy Butler: Detroit and San Francisco.
Okay.
I think you can manage games against the Vikings. They may be coming, although they're 8-2,
Yeah.
but these 2 teams can keep you out of the playoffs or out of a Super Bowl. And that's why I'm hoping we brought him in, because the gold standard for me is Kyle Shanahan. He doesn't care who's the quarterback. He doesn't care who's on the defensive coordinator. He done had 3 or 4 defensive coordinators. They don't care.
Okay.
There's something about them thinking they can come to Lambeau and win games, and we got to change that.
I
don't care nothing about them being 5-5, by
right.
the way.
I think this stretch, this next 3-game stretch, this
Yes.
is, if they don't kick it into gear against San Francisco this week,
Yes.
they don't show something, then I think that's might be who they are for the rest of the year. Because
Yes.
now is the time you have to kick it into
Yes.
to serious gear, like
Yes.
Detroit's doing,
Yes.
like Minnesota is doing,
Yes.
like Philadelphia is
Yes.
doing. Philadelphia is a great
Yes.
example of that. They're
Yes.
just catching fire.
Yes.
Green Bay's lagging behind on that. And they need to
Buffalo
find
caught
that.
fire?
Yeah, Buffalo's catching fire. Right.
That's
This
a
is
lot of
Pittsburgh.
teams. Pittsburgh. Oh,
So where's Green Bay? When are they going to do that? And time's running out.
I'm thinking
so-
Carl Brooks is helping us with that. Blocking that field goal to the 2nd year in a row, the youngest team in the league, gives you enough to say, we're losing, when it don't matter, we're going to find a way to win. That can be the turning point
right.
of the season.
Right, exactly. And if it isn't, if it doesn't play into this next game, then what good was it, right?
Yeah.
It should be starting. It should be the ignition,
Yes.
for liftoff. And I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah, but
So
I'm
what's
riding.
your prediction?
Yeah, I'm riding Josh Jacobs though. It don't matter. I'm riding Josh Jacobs, and just like picking against Detroit, it's hard. So, San Francisco 28-17.
Ooh, look at you.
I mean,
You're
that's
not
Big
tired,
Brother,
huh?
man. Your Big Brother comes home from the military, and you say I can beat him in one-on-one, and your parents are watching like he's gonna get him now, and then it doesn't happen. So, yeah, prove
right.
me wrong. Prove me.
Okay.
I would love to be
They'll
wrong,
be playing some catch up after that.
Yes.
But
and not to catch up on fries either. Just you can see that my body language when you talk about San Francisco, man, because.
you love those Shanahans. All right. Before we head out, don't forget to check with X and O's. We got 2 really good analyses of zone coverage
Yes.
that LeRoy will explain to you. And who would you like to thank before we head out?
Again, MilwaukeeWindowGuys.com. If you want some great windows indoors, the weather's about to change. Just go there and mention LEAP, and you'll be able to get 20% off through the rest of the year. And again, you'll take your phone out, and you'll see my QR code, scan it, and you'll see some of the artificial reality stuff I'm doing for companies and myself, and download the Leap 36 podcast. And again, make sure you go and blog with. And
We had a good time during the Bears game. It was spicy. It was really spicy. It was probably one of the more entertaining blogs.
So you did what,
season.
after the game and before the game?
We do it during. It's
During the game.
I do it start a half hour before the game starts. Let
Very nice.
everybody. And then, man, once that game gets going, a lot of firings. Everybody
Yeah.
wants some guys fired.
Yes.
All
It's okay.
right.
Stay tuned for X's and O's.
Yes, for sure. And we'll see you next week.